Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a brand new video about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. There was a lot of information that came out yesterday, including a new Z move, potentially some new forms that could have gotten revealed, the Alola Photo Club, and lots of little teasers in this trailer that may have shed some light onto what we can expect in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Now, I know I'm a day late, guys, and my voice is pretty weak, and I'm super duper tired. I just flew down to Florida and back for that Pokemon Go vlog. You guys may have heard about it on the channel. We'll have that up in the next few days. But I wanted to cover this nevertheless and give you guys my thoughts. I have watched the trailers, but I have not watched anyone else's coverage, so my thoughts in this video are pretty much my thoughts alone. I really haven't discussed too in depth with anyone. I haven't really seen any other Pokemon YouTubers coverage, so I'd love to have kind of this interaction with you guys and have your thoughts in the comment section below, whether it's formulated from yourself or from what you've heard from other people. But I definitely kind of wanted to give you guys my perspective, and I know a lot of you guys on Twitter were asking me to make this video and kind of cover it in my own way like I normally would. You know, I'm just a little bit late, but I hope it's not too big a big deal for you guys. So anyway, nevertheless, we have Prism Necrozma, and that's kind of what I'm dubbing this, and we'll kind of address this topic in a little bit. We'll come back to Prism Necrozma in a second here, but hopefully you guys are hyped, and I hope you guys saw the trailer and we're excited about it. Hit that like button, man. Show some love, guys. I'm excited for Ultra Sun and Moon, man. We're down to less than 3 months to go. I'm very excited. So let's jump into kind of what that trailer was about. Lots of images. The first main thing that we saw, obviously Pokemon World started. Clangorous, Soul Blaze, Kommo O getting a brand new Z move, and a number of different Pokemon getting Z moves, but so far we only really know about Kommo O's Z moves. Seems like they're not going away anytime soon, especially with them adding more in. Very much so kind of expected that they were going to add more Z moves in, so not surprising to see that there. But Clangorous Soul Blaze just gave Kommo O such a huge buff in competitive Pokemon, and it may become a viable option, you know, come competitive in VGC and even singles battles. Clangorous Soul Blaze giving him not only a really powerful dragon type move, which we can assume he has to use Clanging Scales plus his dragon type move, but what it does is it actually is going to give him a +1 boost to every single stat. So kind of like an Ancient Power boost or an Ominous Wind boost, or like one of those Z Conversion boosts or Z, you know, Trick or Treat, like giving you that +1 boost to all your stats, plus you're firing off a really big attack. So that's going to make Kommo O a pretty big threat in competitive Pokemon, because obviously a speed buff is huge. You're basically getting a Dragon Dance buff, but even more importantly, you're getting a buff to your defenses too, and that's really clutch. And if I'm not mistaken, and forgive me if I am, I'm pretty sure Clanging Scales actually reduces the defense of the Pokemon using it. So because the Z move, he doesn't have to do that. It doesn't give him that kind of negativity. Now, I could be wrong when I said that I think you had to use Clanging Scales to make this work. I know with Snorlium Z, you have to have like Giga Impact. You may be able to use any Dragon move because it was the Dragonium Z kind of like animation. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out, but I have a feeling you probably have to use Clanging Scales to make the Z move work. But really cool Z move. So I posed the question to you guys, and I have a few questions, so you might not want to send the comment just yet, but I want to get your thoughts on this. What other Pokemon do you think are going to get Z moves in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon? I think this is going to a really cool way to look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the legendaries get them. Obviously, Solgaleo, Necrozma, potentially Lunala. I could definitely see those. Maybe Silvala getting its own Z move could be really cool. Obviously, that was a key Pokemon in the storyline. You might see that there. I don't know how many more Z moves they can give to Pikachu, but you never know, man. So that was one of the main things that kind of got revealed at Worlds. The next thing we got here is a Rockruff following behind the trainer. And this is a lot of people speculating that Pokemon following you is official, dude. Going back to Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, when the feature was first introduced, will Pokemon be following you? Now, as much as this is the one feature that I want in this game, above all else, is Pokemon following you. I'm not gonna lie, that is like, it sounds so dumb and trivial, but it's like my favorite thing, dude. I feel like it adds such a huge element to the game, makes you, it's such a great visual aesthetic enhancement to the game, and I think that having that would be huge. We do know after data miners, I posted this in a previous video, data miners have discovered that there were walking animations in the game files for Sun and Moon. Those could easily be activated and basically used in this game. So I think there's like an 80% chance that Pokemon will be following you in this game. I was talking to, actually I was talking to some of my friends with when we were in Florida about this feature, and we said, hey, maybe there's gonna be limitations though. Maybe it can't be every Pokemon. Maybe it can't be legendaries and things like that. Maybe it can only be, you know, the vast majority of Pokemon instead of the 802. Maybe 750 of them can walk behind you. Some of them can't because of size. I don't know, but very interesting stuff to note. What do you guys think about this? I really want to believe that it's going to be a feature, but I believe there was some other footage in the trailer that showed the character walking around without any Pokemon behind him. So I don't know if that's a thing. You know what I mean? Maybe you can toggle it on and off. I don't know yet. This could also just be a little cutscene, but I'm leaning to believe because you are on the route. This is, I believe, Route 1. And yeah, you can see the cave behind him and stuff where Bagon and stuff would be on Route 3. So I'm led to believe that this could be the Pokemon following you feature. I know a lot of people, from what I understand, were jumping on board saying, Pokemon following you, Pokemon. I'm not 100% on that yet. I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. You know, but next thing we got here is Kahili, who is an Elite Four member in Sun and Moon. She was the Flying type Elite Four member. If you know, the Alolan, the Z Crystal for Flyinium Z is found kind of independently. It's in 10 Carat Hill. After you get Strength, you just kind of go up there, and Flyinium Z is just chilling there. So maybe she'll be a Z Captain now. It looks like she's in a cave type setting. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this, but I would not be surprised if she has a trial at 10 Carat Hill. 10 Carat Hill totally could have a trial. If that's where, you know, the Flyinium Z Crystal was, why wouldn't you put Kahili there? The other thing is she's a golfer. Alola does have a golf resort that we were not able to access in Sun and Moon. Perhaps in Ultra Sun and Moon, that golf resort will be open for us to explore. It'd be really cool, even if it was just a big golf field. I don't think we've ever had a golf course in Pokemon, but it'd be really cool if there was a big golf course and there was just a bunch of trainers. Kind of, if you remember in like, I think it's Black and White, there was a couple sports stadiums with like football players and baseball players. I think that could be really cool with golf, and maybe that's where she is. Either way, or maybe you run into her at 10 Carat Hill, and then maybe she's at the golf place later on, which I believe is on Akala Island, over by the Haoli Resort. It was on the resort, I believe, kind of when you first meet the other foundation there. So that was kind of one of the cool ideas there that I had. I don't know if she's doing a Z move here. It looks like she might be doing a Z dance in the trailer. Kind of hard to tell, but I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a return as a Z Captain or a gym leader. Perhaps the gym leaders are going to be coming, and that's going to bring up a point here, which we're going to talk about. Ryuki. A lot of you guys may not know who Ryuki is. He obviously didn't have much of a storyline in Sun and Moon, but if you play through and you beat the Elite Four, and you beat the champion, you can do what's called the champion title defense. And you can actually defend your championship title against a number of different trainers that'll come and battle you. And Ryuki is one of the random trainers that will face you in that championship title defense. And Ryuki is a dragon type trainer. But here's the thing that's really peculiar. I saw a lot of people bringing this up on Twitter. It looks as though we are standing in a gym that reminds us very much so of a gym back in Kanto, Lieutenant Surge's gym. Obvious little trash cans. The color scheme, the yellow, it really looks like it could be Lieutenant Surge's gym. Why is Ryuki standing in Lieutenant Surge's gym? Is it Lieutenant Surge's gym in the first place? Are we going to Kanto? The amount of questions that came from this picture alone is insane. I mean, I knew, deep down, I knew Ryuki would most likely make an appearance in this storyline here. Whether he's part of your rival, maybe he's the new champion. You know, he is a dragon trainer, so he could really kind of do anything. Keep in mind there was an unmanned Z Crystal with Kommo O at in Pony Island. Perhaps he takes over that trial there, or there's a gym built there. So there's some options there, but why are we in a gym that looks like Lieutenant Surge's gym? Very interesting. You gotta keep in mind, in any job or any company like Pokemon, they pick these screenshots out so mindfully. Like they're not just randomly picking footage and just wanting to show us stuff. They want to show us these things because they want to promote discussion and thought-provoking kind of images. And in this situation, they have done just that because there's so many question marks surrounding this. Is it going to be, you know, Lieutenant Surge's gym? Is Ryuki a gym leader? I have no idea. It's weird to see him in this setting. It's really weird. And another idea that I had that I thought was kind of interesting that could actually play a part in this is Alola obviously was set up with its trial system, obviously behind the other regions in terms of timing. They built the Pokemon League and the Elite Four there on the Alola region, basically to try to grow kind of what the Alola region was and give it a real Pokemon League and whatever else, and kind of legitimize it in terms of that. So maybe they're gonna add gyms now, which I think a lot of people have speculated, but perhaps the gyms will be in some ways based off of the Kanto gyms, because there is some sort of a link between Kanto and Alola, right? Especially that we know that Lily is gone there with Lusamine at the end of Sun and Moon, so lots of speculation there. Really interesting stuff though, really interesting stuff. Like I said, thought-provoking, and I'm excited. And I also want to point this out, we have about 3 months to go until Sun and Moon, and we really don't have a ton of information, but I like it, dude. I like it. As much as I want to cover stuff on YouTube, because that's what I do, I really like the lack of information right now, and I don't think that's going to be a representation or an indication that the game is not going to be good. I think there's plenty of stuff that they're holding out, so I hope that they just keep holding it out, and they learn from last year that last year was just too much, because I think we all want to enjoy the game and not have too many spoilers. spoilers, but there's still plenty of information we got from this. So here's a little bit of information here. I believe the two are directly kind of linked. If you notice, I believe this is on Melee Island. There was an empty plot of land. If you remember, there was a Machamp there with some boxes and stuff, an empty plot of land. It does seem like those empty plots of land throughout the Alola region are going to be developed. Very interesting stuff. There was an interview with Game Informer where they talked about a new feature called the Alola Photo Club, where you can actually, I believe this is the Alola Photo Club. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I don't really know what this building's for, but I think it's the Alola Photo Club. I believe there's like a Rotom Deck symbol somewhere in one of the mirrors, I think someone pointed out, but this very well could be that. It might not be, but either way, 2 points to make here. It does seem like the uninhabited plots of land throughout Alola are now going to be developed, which really just points to the fact that they knew what they were doing when they were making Sun and Moon. They had the foresight that they were going to make Ultra Sun and Moon down the road, and they were going to develop more. Whether it's going to be gyms or not, I think the gym theory kind of gets thrown out a little bit here because, you know, that's one plot of land that's not a gym. So I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily throws it out. I'm okay with either personally, gyms, trials, whatever. I thought the trials were actually pretty challenging too, so that's fine. But the Alola Photo Club is just a way for you to kind of, there's a separate, like I said, Game Informer interview about this. Just so you can take pictures with your Pokemon and decorate them, and you get different items as your bond with your Pokemon increases. I don't know, it's one of those kind of features that they add to the games that I typically tend to not really use a whole lot. I didn't really use the Rotom Dex photo picture thing, but it's cool, man. They're always trying to add new stuff, and you know, we'll see how that goes. But interesting stuff nevertheless. Here's the map of the Alola region kind of revamped. Obviously, the main thing to note here is that black cloud, right? I mean, that's really the main thing to note. It looks like it's kind of above Pony Island in general. So that's something to note, which is, I believe, where, is that where the altars are? Is it Pony Island? No, I think it's Ula Ula Island. No, is it Pony Island? I don't remember where the altars are. No, it's gotta be on Ula Ula Island, yeah. So maybe that's above the altar. There was some screenshots of Necrozma at the altar, so that's interesting. I'll pull that up in a second here. But that's the main thing to note. We do see, you know, the Ether Foundation is still there. We see Executor Island. There was a screenshot of it, or kind of a little piece of Executor Island in the trailer. There seems to be another kind of island off of Melee, if you see that, kind of in the top right corner there with that one palm tree. Interesting to note there. I'm not quite sure. I haven't zoomed in a whole lot and examined this like crazy a lot, but I'm not quite sure what that thing is between the top two middle islands. I don't know if that's like a piece of land or whatever, but obviously the main takeaway here is that big cloud. It kind of reminds us of those portals. Could that be a portal to Sinnoh? Could that be a portal to Kanto? Is it gonna be a tie-in? Like, this is really the opening. I mean, they could totally open the door to the Sinnoh region for the Switch or whatever it may be next. So, I mean, just so many questions kind of surrounding this, but I really love it. And you could go detail by detail and kind of examine the islands, you know, super duper in depth and see if you notice anything kind of popping out. But generally, they look pretty similar for the most part. You see like Po-Town and things like that. So maybe Po-Town will be like kind of developed more. It won't be so run down. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there. I mean, they could really do so much with that. And here we go, kind of the Dusclock and Rock form. We knew about this, nothing really new, but I wanted to bring it up because a lot of people didn't seem to know about this. It does seem like there's a mystery gift that's going to be available as soon as the game comes out, where you can get a Rockruff from the mystery gift, and only that one can evolve into the Dust form as far as we know from now. More details to come in the future, but that's the basic gist of it. So getting a shiny Lycanroc Dusk form seems unlikely as of now. Kind of a bummer for us shiny hunters out there, but nevertheless, Dust Lycanroc form looks pretty cool, and I think that'll be exciting to get that. And then kind of the last thing here, here's the thumbnail. We do have that screenshot in the top left there of Necrozma at the altar. Very interesting to note there. So there's some, obviously Necrozma is going to be a huge part of Ultra Sun and Moon. We already kind of figured that with, you know, Solgaleo and Lunala having kind of his armor pieces, but then actually, if you look at the very end of the trailer, their new kind of artwork and branding has and the box art has this like prism light feature. Like if you look where the arrow is, I mean the arrow is kind of big and pointing right at it, you know, but it looks like it's very interesting. So it's got this, you know, kind of star-shaped face with these really intense eyes, and it's really bright, and it's on the box art, and it was like right in the center of kind of the last screen of the trailer. And my initial thought on this is Prism Necrozma, man. Necrozma is known as like the Prism Eclipse Pokemon. It's got an ability called Prism Armor, okay? What were to happen if Necrozma shed its armor and it had some sort of unleashed form, which is what we're seeing right there? That's really my big theory right now. I don't know how many other people have thought that, but that was just immediately what I thought of when I saw this image. I was like, dude, that's gotta be Necrozma shedding its armor. And then Solgaleo and Lunala take on the armor, and that's why you have the armored Solgaleo and Lunala. I mean, that seems pretty logical to me. I don't know, man, but obviously Necrozma is like, it's got Prism Armor, so it's like blocking the Prism, and obviously Prisms have, it's like a triangle that has a kind of disperses light through it. It looks like it, man. I feel like that's like a pretty strong theory. I feel like that's a pretty strong theory. So those are kind of some of my thoughts, guys, of what was released. I think I covered the majority of it. There's a few other little minor details. I think there was something, I couldn't really get the details on it, but I think like Z moves are being expanded too. I saw something about like Pokemon being able to hold 3 Z crystals now, or use 3 Z crystals in a battle. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's pretty interesting stuff. But otherwise, it's probably going to be pretty dry for news for a little while. I don't expect much more until probably early September, I would say. So I would hang in there for a few more weeks. I don't think we're going to get too much more. We might, but I'm expecting nothing until like mid-September, like the 10th or so. Early mid-September for Coral. They'll give us a little bit more information maybe on what this monster is, but obviously this thing is pretty important, so that's pretty cool stuff, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, sorry I was late, man. I legitimately left. I woke up at 4 o'clock yesterday, Friday morning. I didn't get home and in bed until about 4 o'clock this morning, so about a 24-hour trip from wake up to getting in bed for me to go down to Florida and film that vlog for you guys. So I hope you guys are hyped for that, but hit that like button if you enjoyed, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace.